Hello everyone, and welcome to my long-awaited review of the Slave one. It is set number 75060, ages 14 plus. It comes with 1,996 pieces, and it retails for £170. And I'll put a bit of extra information here on the screen, just so you can take in that information a bit more easily. So, getting onto the set, it's enormous, and it's one of the best UCS sets that, in my opinion, LEGO have ever released. And that's non-biased, so I might do a top 5 in a bit. It comes with some amazing minifigures and it looks great. So without further ado, let's take an in-depth look at the minifigures, and then later on we'll move on to the set itself. And here we have the 4 minifigures of the set, and they're all really good. I think 2 of them are exclusive at least, which are the Boba Fett and the Bespin Wingguard. Just now in the advent calendar there's been another Bespin Wingguard, except he has a different face printing and some different guns. So as far as I know, that guy is still exclusive. Now, obviously the best minifigure from this set, and I'll just take the others out of the way, just so we can learn him by himself, is Boba Fett. His front printing is amazing, and his helmet looks very accurate. However, this section is identical to his regular version from the carbon freezing chamber. What really sets him aside and puts him with just the Cloud City one is the sidearm printing. You can see it's unique on both sides. He has some sort of border in there, and on the other there's some decoration. Now that's what makes this minifigure great. Now he does not have an alternate face, but you can see he has, I believe it is a unique face printing. Let's just compare it to the standard angry clone face from the Stormtrooper, and you can see that that is an angry one, and Boba Fett has more of a grin. So he's exclusive. This minifigure, I predict, will in the future be like the Cloud City one, selling for hundreds of dollars possibly. Nearly forgot to mention, he carries the standard Boba Fett backpack slash jetpack, and he has the orange cloth on the side, which will be replaced by a green colour in the new skiff from Jabba's palace. So overall, a really great minifigure, and now let's take a look at the others. So here we have the other 3. We have a regular Stormtrooper, we have a Bespin Wingguard, and we have Han Solo just before he's frozen in carbonite. So firstly, let's take a look at the Stormtrooper. He's not the same as the Star Wars Rebels Stormtroopers. As you can see, there's significant differences with the helmet printing and with the design in general, as the Rebels one has a more exaggerated curve down on the mouthpiece, and just in general looks different, and the coloration on the mask is different as well. Overall, I prefer this one from the Slave one, who looks more like an original trilogy style. He comes with the standard angry clone face, as I mentioned earlier, which is fine. I don't mind that much because it's under the helmet anyway. The Bespin Wingguard is the same as the one I showed in the advent calendar yesterday mostly. He has the same printing, and on the back and on the front he has the standard gold trim. No alternate face obviously. He wears a cap, and he has some face printing which just shows a sort of stern look and some sort of facial markings. Then we have Han Solo just before he's put in carbonite. He does have an alternate face. Here he just has a bit of a sort of half worried look, and here is his look as he's frozen in carbonite, which is a bit of a strange expression. But anyway, that's it for the minifigures. The only difference between this Han Solo and the one from the carbon freezing chamber is the colour of the leg piece, which is interesting. So now let's take a look at the build itself. So I've taken it off his stand, and just before we look at the features of the set, let's take a look at the stand itself. It comes with the standard UCS sticker, and you can pause the video now if you want to read it. The assembly of the stand is just fitted so that it fits the Slave one very nicely, and I'll show you where it's put in a second. Just to quickly show you that, here on the bottom of the ship you can see there are 2 holes here, and that is where you insert the stand. So now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at the features of the set. Firstly, you can see we have some turrets here which move together. There's a pair on each side, and they are connected via an axle in the middle. Then for the main weaponry of the ship, we have some compartments here which has some sort of gun system, and on the other side we have, I believe, a proton torpedo, or perhaps an ion cannon. I'm not sure which, but It looks nice, and I'm glad that they added these features, which fold in seamlessly and very nicely onto the inside of the ship. Then if we take the cockpit off, you can see one of the nicest features of the Slave One, which is this cockpit section. We have Boba Fett here on his chair, which is able to move backwards and forwards for the orientation of the ship, and we have some hooks to hook his gun up on. Here we have a couple of tiles, which are all printed, and next to him he has a couple of control panels, which you can't see from here. The chair itself is very nicely built, and I'm glad they didn't just use a regular Lego chair. So before taking a look at the main feature of the set, I'm just going to show you what happens when you flip it up. You can see that the fins there, which is what I'm going to be calling them for this video, they look a bit like sort of paddles, rotate by themselves. And I think this is a good opportunity to show you the back of the ship. So here it is. It very well captures the essence of the ship, with that almost face in the middle here and the large circular section there. There's a pull out part here, which I'll show you the significance of later, but that gives you a slight clue of what it might be used for. So overall, Lego have done a really great job of capturing the back. And one last feature of this, you can see there are some white stud tiles piled up on the back here, and that's just to create the effect that the ship is slightly floating on its landing pad, which you can see the effect of here. Now, this ship was always used for a prison ship, as mentioned on the placard. And who was the most famous prisoner of the Slave One? Of course, it was Han Solo. So now let's take a look at where you can store him. If we turn the ship around and we look around the bottom, you can see there is a hatch here. If you lift that up, you can see we have Han Solo trapped in carbonite here. And he just clips on, but oh dear, he's caught in the middle of the ship. Now we're going to take a look at the back again, and I'll show you what to do in this situation. You can pull this section out very easily. So here you can see, if I just pull this bit open and tip the ship upside down and give it a bit of a shake, then this piece comes about and it's very easy to get it out. Now, taking a quick look at the Han Solo in carbonite piece by itself, it's very nicely moulded, and it captures his expression and body shape perfectly as a minifigure. He fits nicely into the piece and his hands just connect there, and he's sort of slightly indented onto the bit because he fits with this part here. All around, it's a nice piece, and it's not exclusive as it comes out in the carbon freezing chamber, but it's still a very nice piece as well. The overall design of the ship is incredible, and I applaud the designer. The use of stickers is very well done, and the greebling on the side is second to none. As you can see, it demonstrated down these portions of the ship and around the sides. The only angles which I really don't like looking at the ship from are the straight on angles like this one, because it just looks a little bit strange. But obviously that can be fixed just by rotating the ship around to the position which I had it in before. The UCS Slave One is second to none when it comes to the design, and it is equalled only by its UCS counterparts such as the UCS Millennium Falcon and the UCS Star Destroyer, which are of course legendary sets. Now let's take a quick look at the instruction manual, and I think it really gives you a taste of what UCS sets are all about. And here it is, the instruction manual. It's a book in its own right, and that cover art just looks amazing with Cloud City in the background and a sunset view of the Slave One flying through the sky. This booklet goes up to 307 pages with a long section of index about the parts, and it just is amazing how much detail it managed to fit in. There you can see a look at the final stages of the ship, and as you can see, a long building process goes into making this. Now I'll show you this section here, which just looks at what you get with each bag that you build. And there are some treats dotted around where you get minifigures such as bag 1, 7, 6 and 13. The front section of the instruction manual is dedicated to tutorials and descriptions of the ship. It has it in several different languages, and here you can see the main designer of LEGO Star Wars, and then some information about the Slave One. Here is the man who designed the ship, Hans Burkhard Schlomer, I think his name is, but I'm not sure if that's quite how you pronounce it. And there's a very interesting interview with him here. I'll just zoom it in on the interview so you can maybe read it if you want to pause the video now. And for the next section of it, right about now. So that was a quick look at this instruction manual. It is a beautiful booklet, and I'm looking forward to seeing the one from the UCS TIE Fighter as well. So now let's just go into some final thoughts, and I'll give all of my positive acclaims to the set because there's nothing really negative about it. So there has been my review of one of the latest additions to the LEGO Star Wars UCS line, and I have to say it's one of the best they've ever made. I'll be making a top 5 UCS sets soon, so look forward to that. Of the ones which I own, which is 2 now, this is definitely my favourite. As for the price, £170 and the equivalent in dollars is definitely worth paying. This set comes with just about 2,000 pieces, and for less than 10 pence per piece, that is a really good deal. Look at the set which it creates. The minifigures are great, and I can see this Boba Fett becoming as exclusive as the one from the Cloud City set. The features are good, but it doesn't overload them like they've done with the more recent Assault and Hoth set. And as they should with UCS sets, they've prioritised the design. The colouring is very nice, and if you see comparisons between it and the old renditions of the Slave one, it is just a massive improvement in shape and design. I mean, the way that the designer has managed to capture the shape of the hull here is amazing, and if I put it next to the micro version, you can just see the scale and the amazingness of the set. One of the only criticisms I have, but this goes for most UCS sets, is that it is not the most sturdy of ships, because there are several loose pieces which are used for decoration, and you can break it fairly easily. But when it's on a stand, that's not going to happen, and the stand holds it up well so it doesn't fall off. And I would definitely recommend buying this set while you can. I believe that it will be one of those UCS sets which ends up being really expensive in the future. So I hope you enjoyed my review. It's a bit longer than some of the other ones, but I think it's worth it for a set of this calibre. See you all in the next video, which will most likely be an advent calendar video. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button because I've spent a long time on this video. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.